Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Shift Fire. An alien presence has descended upon the Earth and is terrorizing a local village. This apex hunter alien uses thermal imaging technology, has a cloaking device, you see where I'm going with this? And it has a tri-laser aiming system with which it targets and shoots its prey. Okay, I think we're kind of on the same page here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to me and Cameron to hunt this thing down and fight it off. Now, we were gonna ask Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny Glover, Adrian Brody, or Amber Midthunder to come and help us out, but they were either too old or too busy, so it's up to me and Cameron to fight off the alien presence.
This is Loadout.
Now, Cameron, something like this, we're traveling to a remote village. I'm thinking it's gonna be part kind of survival and sustainment and part equipment for when we hit the objective, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the intelligence we've gathered so far, you did an excellent job of describing it. We need to very methodically pick the equipment we're going to use because we got a fight ahead of us.
All right, looking at the list here, what are we gonna be wearing?
So it looks like we have the options of wearing a combat uniform, a jungle uniform, civilian clothes, or a ghillie suit.
Ah, nice.
It sounds like the village we're going to be operating is in a jungless environment, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So for me, I'm thinking about just utilizing jungle fatigues. Now, there is a big difference between combat uniforms and jungle fatigues. Jungle fatigues are going to offer you more breathability. They're going to be more comfortable. Just something in the jungle where it gets really hot and humid and wet that dries fast and allows the body to breathe, as well as keep small insects that tend to get everywhere and anywhere.
A lot of closing up the open areas of the wrists and the ankles.
Yeah, so keep those biting bugs out of my pants. I'm going to pick a jungle uniform, man.
You know what? I'm going to go with a ghillie suit on this one. And the reason is I want to pick a specific type of ghillie suit. In my research, I found out something called a camo shield. You know, with thermal optics and night vision becoming more prevalent throughout just the whole globe, you need to find a way to defeat even that in this day and age.
That is a big, big threat currently in a modern war fight. So
this kind of stuff, camo shield, I found online, has not only infrared camo, but also thermal camouflage as well to hide our body signature.
Okay,
so
that's a great
I would
idea.
definitely like to have one of those things on our person.
You got your warrant slot there, Phil. What about our kit? What kind of kit are you going to be? You're going to be rocking plates? You're going to be rocking chest rigs? What do you got?
The way that I'm thinking that we're going to approach this, knowing our enemy as we do, we're probably going to have to set up like an avenue of attack, probably have to lead them into an area. That would be the ideal situation for me. I'm going to go for speed over protection. So I'm going to have just a chest rig.
Okay, same thought process for me, man. I want to be able to be mobile. I want to be able to be fast. So just a basic chest rig for me, I think is going to do wonders, especially in that jungle environment. Because not only are we fighting this creature, but we are also fighting the environment in the jungle, which is very tedious and it is very restrictive. So chest rig for me all the way as well.
Let's go quickly through waist, headgear, feet. What are we thinking?
I'm just going to go ahead and wear just a basic leather belt.
Yeah, leather belt for me, quick and simple. Gonna have it all on the chest rig anyway. Okay. All right, headgear.
Headgear.
Boonie cap.
Boonie cap.
That's right, baby.
Easy, easy, easy.
Yeah, 360 degree shade, maybe some vents on the top to release that heat as we're trudging through the jungle.
Sure, keep the sun out of your face, you know, absorbs the sweat just because we're in that humid environment in the jungle. That's just another active layer of camo that we could add to our kit. Feet. What are you thinking?
The jungle boots. But what are we thinking? We're thinking protection from water, right? Trying to keep our feet dry.
Yeah.
But also lightweight material and then a good tough sole on the bottom.
Yeah, jungle boot for me all the way too, man. We got a lot of things in common right now. Accessories. What are we gonna have on our kit? I think right off the bat, just because the jungle was full of, you know, pokey things and whatnot. I know I said I hate wearing gloves, but I think for this one, I'm definitely gonna be wearing gloves.
All right, that's fair. I'm a fan of gloves. That's one slot right there.
Yep.
But you know what? I think you'll notice a theme that I'm trying to build up to, but I'm gonna go for knee and elbow pads. That's 2 slots apiece, so I'm already up to 5 slots.
I'm gonna take about 3 M67 frag grenades on me. So fill up 3 slots. So I got a lot of grenades on me just because not only can grenades be utilized offensively, but they can also be utilized defensively.
You know what? If you're gonna do those M67 frag grenades, I am going to do at least 2 star cluster flares.
Okay.
All right. You know what? Let's go with 3 because I'm thinking setting traps or at least a perimeter, so an early alert system, that kind of
Early
stuff.
warning.
Yeah,
That's a
early
great
warning
idea,
system.
man. Awesome. I'm gonna pack a thermal optic with me.
Hey, all right.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this predator is producing some sort of body heat, being a living thing, right?
Hey, you know, like the man said, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. Absolutely. So I'm gonna pack a thermal optic just so if we get to where we're going with no problems, we can, you know, set that up. Plus at nighttime, it's gonna be a great thing to also identify, you know, threats out there in the woodline, because, you know, in the jungle, there's not just this predator, but there's also other predators.
Yes.
So we can use the thermal at nighttime to differentiate between the two.
I gotta put one slot for the IFAK, just in case. Individual first aid kit, always important. You know, nick my ankle on a tree branch, or
Sure.
maybe I get sliced through the torso with from the Apex Hunter.
I'll be able to try and save your life, even though it's pretty much useless. But I will also bring an IFAK for one slot, just in case anything happens out there. I mean, maybe, you know, in the fight, we win, but one of us gets injured. We still both want to get out there and be able to provide care.
Yep.
So hopefully we have enough in our IFAK to really help with that trauma. I don't think I'm going to need any type of eye protection, even though, like, branches are fucking a pain in the ass.
It's all right. We're elite soldiers, all right, on an elite mission. We can watch out for the juke and jive and dodge those tree. My last slot, I'm going to do a multi-tool because I'm guessing that we're going to use a little bit of our earth skills in this to build some traps, maybe some concealment. Zero school style, building some concealment for ourselves.
Sure.
Gonna need a multi-tool to kind of clip branches and weave things together. So that's my last slot, multi-tool.
Okay, I'll take a multi-tool too, just because I don't want to be asking for yours all the time if
That's
we're
right.
both, you know, actively setting up these defenses.
There you go.
I'll also take some land navigation equipment, so like a lensatic compass map. And, you know, since we're not fighting a conventional force here, but I still want to be able to communicate with people far from us, because we got to coordinate our pickup, right? Or something goes wrong or we need to get pulled out of there, I'm gonna go ahead and bring a satellite phone.
Good idea. I feel like that's a good, strong plot point in the story of this hunt that's gonna come in handy later on.
The nitty gritty now. Primary weapon.
Primary. I'm going with the M110 SAS, semi-automatic sniper system. I'm gonna try to be the sniper on this mission. I'm imagining that I have the training. I don't in real life, but I'm imagining in this imaginary scenario where we're fighting an Apex Hunter from space that I would love to set up a position. I got my ghillie suit on. We draw him into the area that we want him to be in, and then we lay down some scunion.
Sure, man. And speaking of laying down scunion, I am going to carry a belt fed.
Ooh!
And more specifically, I'm going to carry a Mark 48. Because not only it is my favorite belt fed of all time, it is also 7.62 in a compact package.
There
so
you go.
I don't want small rounds for this, just because we're assuming this Predator is pretty built,
Pretty beefy, yeah.
Pretty beefy.
He's a big boy.
So I want something that's going to lay down a lot of rounds, as well as lay down a lot of big rounds. So Mark 48, obvious choice for me. I have experience on the weapon system. You know, I was a gun team leader on my deployment. It was one of my primary weapons to pick from. So I got a lot of time and training on it. So I'm pretty confident that's gonna be my baby. For secondary,
what do we think?
For me, man, I'm assuming that I got a belt fed. You know, I'm just gonna get a 1911 as a secondary. You know?
Good one, yeah.
You know, still not as much magazine capacity as, you know, a Glock per se, but it's still packing that 45, and 1911s are bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and carry a 1911 on my secondary. What about you, man?
I'm kind of an imaginary, I'm using my imagination for this one. I'm already a sniper in this scenario. So my secondary is gonna be a little off normal. The Fostech Origin 12 short-barreled shotgun.
Okay.
This is the legendary shotgun that is purported to be the fastest semi-automatic shotgun in the planet. It looks like a bolter from Warhammer 40,000.
Okay. I mean, shotguns are great in a jungle environment, man. You can really get that spread and take out a lot of stuff.
Right, yeah. I'm thinking, you know, if it comes down to it, the Predator's closing in, I still got something that can fire off a bunch of rounds and, you know, get that good spread like you said. So the Fostech Origin 12 short-barreled shotgun.
Now we move on to our sheath. What are you gonna put in your sheath?
I mean, I feel like the obvious choice is machete.
Okay.
Machete. Because we're going through the jungle, we might need to build some shelters or build some traps. That's a good chopping weapon. So I'm gonna go with the machete.
Since you got the machete, I'm assuming that you're gonna be able to do some hacking too. But actually, I take that back. I revert that thought, my friend.
I retract that statement.
Because there's always room in the ruck. So I'm gonna carry a machete as well.
All right.
Just because, you know, we can't rely on each other to be chopping all that, and I don't want to, you know, hand you a machete. I want my own for personal reasons. Plus, you know, if I have to cut my chest waiting for him.
Yeah. On the log crossing the river.
If we happen to have it be on a log, and I'd say, Izzy, you go, and I pull the machete out. I need something to cut my chest and have a fighting chance with. So machete for me in my sheath. You know, I think we're looking good.
Yep.
With our worn accessories. let's get to the nitty-gritty, man. So we have 30 slots in our ruck, man.
All right, let's get the necessary out of the way. I'm saying, for me, food rations for 3 days, water rations for 3 days. That's 2 by 2 each. That's 4 slots. Putting in there, that's 8 slots right now.
Okay, yeah, same for me, man. We don't know how long we're gonna be out there. Like you said, this could be a bug hunt. So at least we'll be out there for sustainable equipment for 3 days. Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that. Food and water for a total of 8 slots. I'm also thinking, you know, the jungle is unpredictable. You don't know whether it's gonna monsoon on you or it's gonna roast you. So I'm gonna bring wet weather equipment.
Same for me, same thing on there, wet weather equipment.
And that's 2 by 2 for a total of 4 slots.
Hopefully this apex hunter that we are hunting doesn't have a very strong sense of smell.
Yeah, because he will smell us 100% of the time. Waterproof bag, absolutely essential. Just because, like I said, if we're going to be operating in that wet environment, I need to waterproof my ruck with that waterproof bag. That's going to go ahead and give me a good lining. That's going to make that ruck, float. And also, it's going to keep a lot of moisture from getting to my goodies and to my food and ruining everything. So waterproof bag for 1 slot, it's a must-have.
Same for me, waterproof bag.
And then also extra stocks, 100%. Just because, you know, once you get wet, you need dry that boot off a little bit, but to avoid getting trench foot, is there any injuries on my feet from moisture, you got to change your socks.
Yeah, one for me as well, extra pair of socks.
Defensively, I got to think of things that, you know, I could possibly throw on really quick in an emergency, and one way that's actually cheap and accessible to anybody to defeat IR is a Mylar space blanket. Now, it only works for a short period of time because body heat is gonna have to escape somewhere.
Yeah.
But you can put them up around it if you got 550 cord. Thermal cannot look past it, or if you drape it across your body really quick. I've seen videos of dudes throwing Mylar space blankets on, and for a good chunk of time, they are invisible under thermal. So I'm just gonna throw that space blanket in it for 1 slot there. What about you, buddy?
All right, I am thinking defensively. I'm thinking of this scenario that I want to try to fill out where we are luring our prey into an area and trying to take him out. So I'm thinking a claymore mine, which is 1 by 4. I'm thinking also we have in here an early warning tripwire system. I'm thinking that's good enough for a small area. I can use that in conjunction with the jungle, and if he can see all these maybe technological pieces, we can use that as a ruse to kind of corral him into one area where we have the natural traps that we've set as well, and like deadfall traps or, you know, spike pits.
Yeah, bamboo pits. We gotta be smart, right? All the things we're thinking is on the ground right now.
Yes.
What about in the trees?
Oh, you're right, because we know the history of the predator is he likes to move through the trees.
Absolutely. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and take up 1 slot and bring fishing line.
All right, fishing line, nice.
Yeah, because I have those 3 frag grenades on me. Gonna go ahead and shimmy up a tree, put them down, tie fishing line, create a tripwire, you know, pull the pin ever so slightly out to where, you know, a little nick on the fishing line is gonna detect it or to activate it. So yeah, fishing line, no brainer for me. Plus, I'm also going to carry a claymore mine. A lot of things that people think about the claymore, though, is they think it's like in the Call of Duty with just the infrared or the little laser detector.
Yeah, like a tripwire, like a motion sensor.
Yeah, it's far from the case. They use a command wire that's attached to a clacker, so you actually need to physically detonate the claymore, like in Vietnam. We need means. A multi-tool sometimes isn't just going to cut it, especially we need to make some deadfall traps with some big trees. I'm going to carry a folding saw in my ruck. I mean, folding saws, we use them in the military all the time, especially in reconnaissance and sniper operations, just because, you know, building hide sites, like what we're gonna need to do, is gonna require you to maybe do some big cuts and kind of make your environment. So a folding saw is, you know, a great piece of equipment to bring on you.
Just for good measure, throw a couple more star cluster flares in there. Let's do 2. That's 1 by 1 apiece, so that's 2 slots.
I'm also gonna throw in a big bundle of 550 cord just because we're gonna need to be able to tie things to make our hide site. So yeah, 1 slot, 550, no brainer. We're gonna have to sleep at one point.
You're right.
We're not gonna be up for 3 days
folks.
straight.
We're just men.
We're gonna have to sleep. In the jungle, you typically don't want to sleep on the floor.
Right.
Because there's a lot of critters down there. So you want a hammock. So I'm gonna take a foldable hammock with me, a jungle hammock.
I like that. I'm gonna go the same thing for me. Throw in some 550 cord, that's 1 slot. Throw in an E-tool for helping me to create these traps. That's 2 more slots. I'm down to 5.
For digging. We're gonna need to dig, baby.
That's right. I'm gonna throw in binos there. Throw some binoculars there for reconnaissance. And when we get to the area, we're probably gonna have to scope things out for a little bit before we get engaged. with this enemy.
You know, we put a lot of effort into defensively thinking, because I mean the whole point of this is great because we're plotting an ambush at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of where our mindset went.
Yeah, we know what capabilities the enemy has. We know what equipment we would utilize to combat these capabilities. I'm gonna take from my accessories and put it in my rucksack. So I'm gonna take some night vision for at night, you know, just to be aware. And you know, switching from night vision to thermal wouldn't hurt, especially because I'm assuming I have a laser on my gun. 550 cord, it's great, but if we're making big traps, it's not gonna cut it. We're gonna need something bigger. So I'm gonna take about 100 foot of some static rope just to aid with building these traps.
Nice.
As well as, you know, we may need to rappel in the jungle.
Yeah,
so.
you're right. Yeah. Jungle's not a flat terrain. Cameron, what do you think about our loadout? Do you think that we would survive against the alien apex hunter? Definitely not a predator.
I think, you know, from our intelligence that we've gathered on this, that may have not been a Hollywood movie sometime. We know how he operates, right?
Yeah.
He always got the jump on the person in these movies.
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were getting themselves into.
Right.
We have an advantage. We know exactly what we're getting ourselves into. So I think we had a game plan. You know, we know exactly what we're gonna do. He's not immortal. If he bleeds, we can kill it. And I think we got a lot of stuff that can make not just a predator, but a lot of people bleed.
What if we just didn't bring any weapons? Because, you know, he's a hunter, so he only goes after people that are armed and hunting, right?
That is true.
Yeah, so maybe we just went about this all wrong. We just boned ourselves by bringing all this equipment in. We should have just walked in, t-shirt and jeans, just walked around and, you know.
Only bring a stick of lettuce.
Yeah, when he comes
stick
close.
Of celery.
Stick of celery. And then when he comes close, he's confused. We just push him over a cliff and he dies.
There it is. You're so smart. Look at that. This episode was all for nothing, folks. But regardless, we hope you enjoyed it.
Team, if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment in the comment section. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. We really appreciate you. Let us know what other scenarios we should get ourselves into for Loadout in the future. We'll see you on the next one, team. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
This is the video now.
This is the video.
So you guys know, it's probably going like at the end of like a blooper thing.
There you go.